Welcome to the First and Inches podcast, where every play counts and every take hits hard. Right. David is repping the dynasty that is the Kansas City Chiefs. George bleeds black and gold for Steeler Nation, and AP is still waiting on the Vikings to show up in February. We're breaking down the biggest stories in football, baseball, and anything in between. We're calling it like we see it, and no fan base is safe. Touchdown! This is the First and Inches podcast.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Hello and welcome back to the First and Inches podcast, everybody. I'm Jorge.
I'm Hooks.
Can't see me. AP, what up? What up?
Can't see me. So, guys, what's the aftermath of the Super Bowl situation now that we have a true champion this year that we think are going to be able to keep most of their defense, which is what won this Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're going to lose Kenneth Walker. I can tell you that.
They're still going to be tougher than every other defense out there. And I mean, I don't know how much you can retool a defense to bring you up from the middle of the pack to the top of of whatever your division is. But I think that we're going to have to deal with Seattle another year.
Yeah,
at this rate.
Sure. Yeah, they're deep.
I wonder if the defenses from Seattle is better or if the defense from the Vikings are better.
It's a good point because they had a top tier defense.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe they should meet each other at the end of next year.
You know what? The Vikings, if they were smart, they would maybe leverage some draft collateral and get themselves a quarterback from maybe the Seahawks. Just a speculation.
All right. So what are some of the biggest things we can expect to happen this NFL offseason and looking forward to the start of this next season coming up?
Well, you guys heard it last week. I said it, and then almost like divine intervention, an article comes out, and that the Kirk Cousins Crusader, that's me, that might be a reunion in Minnesota. So as sure as I got ridiculed and absolutely curb stomped by you two, like 48 hours later, article comes out that there is a lot of motion going on as soon as he's released, which Hooks, you did a really good job of explaining what I think it was like 3 or 4 podcasts ago, explaining what the NFL year starts, the tampering period, that, and the other thing. I think that's March 13th or something like that.
March 9th, legal tampering, and then March 11th, the free agency.
Okay.
So actually legal.
So you want to put me down for this, mark it down. Kirk Cousins back in Minnesota. Let's go, baby. Skol. That's my big prediction.
All because you read an article. You know, I can write an article, right?
No. Hey, hold on.
Push it out there.
Hold on. I didn't say that, but the article came out after I put it out in the ether. So whatever happened was because of me. Just letting you know.
Just because somebody wrote it doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm going to put out an article tomorrow and say that they're going to trade Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings and see how you like that.
Well, maybe I would like it, but I'm just saying,
get him out of town.
It's obvious that the Wilfs were listening to our podcast and they're like, hey, that guy had a really good point. Let's go get, that's the missing piece. Let's go get Kirk Cousins.
So there's 10 teams that need an upgraded quarterback.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins still believes he's a starter. I don't think that there's any chance that he's going to go to Minnesota unless they say, you are our starter. And I don't know that they're going to do that to 9. So,
did you see just yesterday you say that, au contraire, bonjour, there's a lot of difficulties with 9 and his ability to acquiesce with the coaching staff. I guess he is being very stubborn and difficult. So if there's any truth to that, they're going to make Josh Rosen him or Justin Fields him. A lot of similar top 10 pick overall quarterbacks. But the irony would be because Kevin O'Connell, their head coach, framed it, quoted, whatever, organizations fail quarterbacks before quarterbacks fail organizations. And that would be the irony with that if they end up kicking him off. But remember, he was injured that first year, right? So he is a 2024 first round draft pick. And so he's been with the organization for 2 years. But he did I will say this. Don't want to beat a dead horse. He did have a high, he was second behind Stafford in whatever this means. Don't quote me on this, but in high leverage throws when he came back from his latest injury. So the last 4 weeks that he played, he was number 2 with high leverage throws.
Okay, Crusader. So what the hell does that mean? Who do you want at quarterback when the season starts?
This is exactly what they're doing. Is what I want. You bring someone in. Everybody's right. Hooks, you're right. He might not be a starter, but you bring him in. You have backup if he does not develop over the offseason with his footwork and his ability to get along. You have a great backup in Kirk Cousins that knows the system, that could satiate Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison if he's not in prison, Jalen Naylor, the whole entire offense. He could lead them with that exquisite defense that they didn't have when he was there. Conversely, if 9 does come out and he is a baller like everybody says he was, how I said he was, then what's to lose? Everything's on the table. This is a perfect
answer
scenario.
my question. Who do you want under center?
Jay McCarthy. Yeah.
Okay, so
but I love the recipe for success with bringing in Kirk Cousins as a plan B.
Kirk Cousins, flip this. Kirk Cousins led the Minnesota Vikings to mediocrity.
They had a mediocre defense, dude. Just seen. He was let me tell you this. Hold on. I knew you were going to say this. He was a better quarterback than Sam Darnold was last year. Sam Darnold was successful because of their, like I just said, exquisite defense. They have, in your words, a great defense. So you bring in Kirk Cousins, it's the same deal as Sam Darnold. Let me tell you this. They're a Super Bowl bound team with Kirk Cousins behind a quarterback. They would mow over the fucking Kansas City Queens and the fucking Steelers. Steelers don't even have a quarterback. You guys set this. Hey, set this one out.
Can we please clip this? Can this please?
You two set this one out, all right? I've obviously got GM capabilities because I put it out there and into the ether it comes, and now there's rumors of him coming on. So you guys just need to sit back and just let me run this podcast, and I'll tell you how to run all these organizations. Once we move on to baseball, I'll tell you how to make.
Hold on. We can't before we go to baseball.
That's successful.
Hold on. Before we go to baseball, we have to talk about Tyreek. He's a free agent now.
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb is a free agent now. And there's only about one decent quarterback that's coming out. And there's 10 Daniel Jones is a free agent and Malik Willis. And it's like, this is getting ready to Kirk Cousins' value is going up.
Is Jones going to be healthy?
What's that?
Is Daniel Jones going to be healthy when season starts? Yeah. There's zero way. Listen, I don't know. I don't understand you. Do you want to go back to the Kirk Cousins era? Like you said, he took you to mediocrity. You'd rather be 10-7 than 14-3 because 14-3 wasn't good enough, or that's not what you wanted 2 years ago, right?
No. So you guys are missing it. I just laid it out. We're have
missing it like you're missing the playoffs. Okay.
They have a defense now. They've got the best coordinator in the league by far.
So it doesn't matter who you put in it.
Is gonna, with Kirk Cousins, they're gonna carry him if they're in there, or they'll do it with JJ McCarthy. I don't care. In whatever way it is, they're gonna steamroll your two pussy ass teams. Next.
All right. Now we can go to baseball.
Let's go,
Adam. So we're going to talk about the starting out center field.
Yes.
Center field is not as loaded as I thought it was, but I'm going to start out with one of the top center fielders, Andy Pajas, Dodgers, 27 home runs last year.
Homer.
He hits for power playing center field and won the World Series for the Dodgers with a catch over
Fernandez would have had that too. So, whatever.
So, all right. What are some other good ones?
So, keeping to the theme of center field, let's just address the main guy in the room who is the best center fielder in all of baseball. That's Julio Rodriguez, right? I think that's clear. I think you've also got another guy.
Hold on. I want to hear what Jorge. Can we rewind what Jorge said about Julio Rodriguez last year before the All-Star break?
I don't even remember. What was that?
Talked about he's trash and not even an All-Star. He's the best center fielder in baseball. Go ahead, Adam.
He's not. He is not.
He's also got elite defense, right? So just even off your move is bad, which is 24% better than anyone in the league at that position. And these are over the last 2 years, so I'm not just using last year. Let me say this. To Jorge's point, he is a little streaky. However, You got to look at the complete package of the last 2 years. He is the top center fielder by WAR, and he is in a top center fielder, not the top, but defensively. If you want to talk defensively, you're going to have to go to Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA. That dude is an absolute beast, and he can really hit. He's got some power too.
He's got potential, and we talk about the stats for J. Rod, but I get it. This is a game of stats, but you have 162 games of padding your stats, and you know what? Game 2 doesn't matter much. Game 27 doesn't matter much. You know what matters at the end? You know what matters? October baseball, and J. Rod chokes. Like, I would say the dude is clutch, but he's like the kind of clutch that goes out on you when you need when you're going uphill. You know what I mean? No, bro. He is not clutch. He is not he doesn't produce when he needs to. I watched him 2 years ago or 3 years ago, 2 years in a row, choke against the Astros at home when they needed one game to make the playoffs, and he had plenty of opportunities at the plate and nothing. He left bases loaded one time. And on second time, like, it was terrible. I do not call anybody that does that a top player in any position. I'll tell you who can be clutch, and I tell you who brings great defense. Harrison Bader, center field.
Yeah. Here's one I like. Here's one I really like. Like O'Neal Cruz. That dude can fly. That dude's got a gun.
Well, good for him, because that's all he's got, and power. But he is streaky to the max. I like what you're going with it. Not a fan of O'Neal Cruz, partly because he eviscerated the Cincinnati Reds a couple of times last year. Hit an absolute tank. So of course I'm going to have a little bias against him. I will say this real quick. This is somebody that I think, doesn't get recognized enough because he was injured partly last year. Jackson Merrill. He came up as a shortstop. They converted him to center field, and the dude is just a beast, and he's got that aura, as my kids say, about him, where he looks like he's something special already. I mean, to completely encompass it, Rodriguez, Merrill, Pete Crow Armstrong, those are, I think, their top 3. Byron Buxton would be, if he could stay healthy, he would be better than Julio, in my opinion. Byron Buxton. But
anybody can be better than Julio. Even another shortstop turned center field, Javi Baez, better than Julio.
So, did you have any other ones, Jorge?
No, just Harrison Bader. I don't think that anybody is as disciplined and clutch at the plate and has great range, great defense, great arm in center field. He's fantastic.
The only other one I didn't really hear was Trent Grisham. I feel like he's...
I know where you're going. He had a really good bounce back year, but he had 3 consecutive years where I think he hit below 200 maybe, or maybe it was 2 consecutive years. So even though I'm kind of an old head when it comes to batting average, like, did that guy just really cite batting average? If you're hitting below the Mendoza line, I think it needs to be that's substantial, whether people want to admit it or not. Well, let me say this one last thing. Sorry, center field. Very underappreciated guy. TJ Friedel leads the league over these last 3 years in bunt hits. I like small ball. He's a good center fielder. He's going to be the Reds' starting center fielder. Just want a hat tip to him. Go ahead. We can go on to right field.
Okay, so we all know right field starts with one person.
Yes.
The Kyle Tucker. We say Kyle Tucker, 4-year, $240 million. Kyle Tucker. So who else do you got that could stand up to him?
So we're removing, just for anyone listening, we removed Juan Soto because they're moving him over. So he's not going to be part of our rankings here.
Corbin Carroll be part of anybody's rankings anywhere.
Corbin Carroll, I think I have him over Fernando Tatis. So those are the 2. I think that I like Corbin Carroll's game more than I got Tatis's. Because if you look at before what Tatis's stats, and he's great. I mean, I would take him. Fernando, he's amazing. But if you look at his stats before he got popped for PEDs compared to now, I mean, it's like the Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve years where they were just out otherworldly. But he's still a well above average player. But that's where I give Corbin Carroll credit. And he's a really small guy too, believe it or not, Corbin Carroll. Really small. Yeah, so those are my 2 top 2.
He's always overlooked. I don't know.
Which one? Corbin Carroll?
Yeah, Carroll.
No, I agree.
He just doesn't get the credit he deserves. As much as I hate this jerk, I'd say Tatis would be my right fielder.
Yeah.
God, but I do hate the guy. I remember when the Padres had every player that I hated in the same roster on the same year. I was like, how has this happened, man? I like you, Darvish, and I felt so bad for him because I was like, why are you with all the players that I hate? Anyway, Tatis.
Okay, y'all are killing me.
Yeah,
Are we
I know
not
you're
throwing
right.
Aaron Judge in right field?
He
I
should be a
mean,
Hold on.
DH at this point.
Because
Anybody can play right field at Yankee Stadium, you know?
so
but hold on.
there's two
Come,
people I was going to say this to. You're right. I can't consider Aaron Judge a full-time right fielder because he plays so much center field and he's going to be DHing. And the other guy who is arguably the best of them all, again, can't say Helly, Acuna. So
Yeah.
those two guys, it's hard to rank them because they're not going to consistently be there. I want to put guys in there, just like how we removed Soto last week and we put him in left. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be consistent for this year going forward.
all right. So the one guy that y'all, if there was no injury, no one ever got hurt, no one was injured, Mike Trout would be
Yeah.
huge.
Did he say he's ready to play center field again?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. He did say he wants to play center. I can't believe I forgot Mike Trout. It's because he's injured so much.
Yeah.
What he's happened, you just kind of lose how valuable, how amazing he was or is, right? I mean, he's still there.
That's just a shame. I mean, he's had such a good start to his career.
Yeah.
God, it's incredible.
All right, so we're going to talk about the AL East. I think it probably is the best division in baseball. I don't know if you guys agree, but from top to bottom, like there is no easy outs. So the odds-on favorite are the Yankees. The Blue Jays are second. They just got beat in the World Series. Red Sox third. Orioles fourth. I mean, where else would the Orioles finish fourth? And then the Rays, like that's probably one of the best baseball organizations in all of MLB that has done the most with the least.
And you make a great point. The Red Sox have really retooled and become. They've had a massive offseason, and you look at their starting pitching. They traded for Sonny Gray. They signed Ranger Suarez, which I think we all agreed was kind of, he's not that good of a pitcher, but he's still great if you have him as your number 3. That other kid that they've got, the young guy, Brian Bello, he's really good. And then, you look at their offense and they're pretty stacked too. That, you've got Roman Anthony, who's amazing. You got Duran, Contreras, and then you got that stud guy that they moved to third, also a shortstop, Marcelo Mayer. So there's somebody to be. I think because of their lack of success of recent years, you sometimes forget just how good they are and how they've become. But yeah.
Trevor Story is another one over there that.
Yeah, I like to see Cora, put something together with that team, but I don't know. It's going to take them some time to gel. I don't think this is really the year for them to make a push atop the AL East. The Blue Jays probably going to be there. I mean, I do agree the pitching that they acquire in Boston is going to give them a chance. I don't argue with the Orioles being fourth. How you don't go against the champion till he gets beat. Well, I think they're in a position where they had one good year. And at this point, you don't bet on them until they really can show you more than just that 1 year. They didn't show it last year. And, don't blame the injuries because everybody had to deal with the same stuff, but they still had the tools and they still didn't make it work. Now, the race is interesting because, they have been a great organization for a long time, but you got Yandy Diaz, great hitter, who's going to be DHing this year around that first, and a bunch of 12-year-olds playing there. So, every other position is they're all rookies. Junior Caminero is coming into his second or third year really in the league. So he's not a veteran by any means. And he's really their best player, their best offensive weapon. I don't know. It's going to be tough for them. So
they traded for Gavin Lux, a former World Series champion for the Dodgers.
There's a reason why Gavin Lux isn't in LA anymore,
Let's not forget, Caminero hit 45 bombs last year as a 21-year-old. That is absolutely wild. To your point, going to go back to the Yankees real quick, their starting pitching would be, arguably outside of the Dodgers, Phillies, and I know anybody listening to this may roll your eyes, but it's true. The Reds, they're right up there, the top 5 rotation, not to mention they got the best hitter in baseball and the best hitter we've seen in a long time. In fact, you can make an argument he might be not the best right-handed hitter, but he's definitely in the top 5 best right-handed hitters of all time. He's putting together a season this last 3-4 years, Aaron Judge saying better than anything anybody has done that we've seen. And he's like Albert Pujols level. He just needs to do it for a little bit longer, which he started a little bit later. Sorry.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, he should have a big year. So hopefully over whatever, he had to go through last year. It was pretty cool watching. I was in Chicago. I don't know what I was there for. I can't remember, but I decided, hey, let me go catch a White Sox game. And it so happened to be the game that Aaron Judge hit his number 300 a couple years ago. It was pretty cool to see. And I guess I hadn't really paid attention to how big this dude is. Him and Stanton. These guys are freaking massive, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like towering, and you feel bad because they're waving this little tiny stick. They're so big. And when they get a hold of that ball, forget about it. So,
I know the Dodgers were talking about Stanton whenever he was a free agent, all the years back. And, my concern was the health, and man, that he just can't stay healthy. But man, when he's hitting, he's on. And then we can't forget to mention Cody Bellinger, former Dodger. So, and then Jazz Chisholm. I mean, like you said, that team.
They're stacked. I still feel like, to Jorge's point, the Blue Jays are still the team. It will, you got to beat the man to be the man. And even though they lost Bichette, they're still a damn good team.
Yeah, that like I said, I think that's the best. I actually think it is the best division in baseball.
I used to like Bichette, but I don't like him with my Mets anymore.
Did you see all the errors?
I haven't seen that. I just see he shows up in these little tiny booty shorts with no sleeves. Like, who does he think he is? Put a hat on. Like, when I was at the tournament in Arizona at the Texas Rangers facility, when they run kangaroo court, there's a lot of things that you get fined for. If you put on your hat on backwards, Fergie Jenkins was saying, this is baseball. We don't wear a hat on backwards. You're not Ken Griffey Jr., unless you're Ken Griffey Jr., turn your damn hat back around. So you get fined for that. So this guy just shows up and he's wearing like whatever. He looks like a hobo out there. And then he was doing batting practice or live, BP against Jonathan Tong. And I don't know why they call it BP. Like, he was watching every pitch. Like, swing the bat. What the hell are you doing, bro? In your little booty shorts. Anyway, I hope he plays well. I hope he earns his paycheck. But I don't know. I don't know what we'll see out of him this year.
So what do you guys? I think the NL East may be the second or third best division in baseball. The odds-on favorite are the Mets, the Phils, the Braves, and then it gets weak. The Marlins and the Nationals.
Yeah.
Well,
are you calling the NL West the top division?
Pretty.
I mean, you got two teams. That's it, right?
No, I mean, you got the Dodgers, the Padres.
Yeah, that's it.
Arizona was in the World Series 2 years ago.
Yeah, Arizona. That was a fluke.
That was.
Where were they last year? They're not going to contend.
Giants have like 3 World Series championships in the last decade.
Yeah.
Listen, those were the even years of the 2000s and 2010s. Okay, now we're in 2020s. So no, not no more.
But okay, let's not talk about the best team in baseball that much today. Let's talk about the Mets.
Oh, so we are talking about the best team in baseball. No,
the Mets are stacked. I mean, Lindor, Soto, but I'm hearing that Lindor and Soto aren't getting along and seeing eye to eye.
Ooh, get Soto out of town. Let's go.
Wait a minute. Who was the one that got ran out because they didn't like his politics? Lindor didn't like
Brandon Nimmo. Yeah,
didn't like Nimmo's politics. So he said, "Poof, be gone."
All right, let's run Soto out of town too.
Who wins that war, Lindor or Soto?
Well, that's a good question because even Lindor doesn't own a suite at Citi Field like Soto does.
Lindor seems like a likable guy. He's definitely marketable. Soto does not seem like that at all. You want to talk about a rigid, just kind of guy. Like, I can't imagine people like championing behind Soto. He's just brilliant though. He's an incredible hitter. But I don't know, man. I think Lindor wins that fight.
I'm not supporting my Mets until they actually win. So I'm not even supporting them on the way there. I'm going on a road trip for opening week. So I'll be at St. Louis on opening day, that Thursday game. Then I'll be in Toronto for Toronto's opening day, which is Friday instead of Thursday. I'll be in Philadelphia Saturday to watch what they call opening night, even though it's their second game. And then I'll be in New York to watch the Mets on Sunday. Now, I got great seats in St. Louis. I'm like, front row by the Rays dugout. I got great seats in Toronto. I got great seats in Philadelphia. But when I get to New York, I'm going to sit in the nosebleed because I'm not giving Daddy Cohen, any more money to go waste on stupid-ass players like Soto.
Yeah, so he could maybe do what he did 2 years ago when he signed Verlander and Scherzer, right? And they pitched together for like 7 starts. I think they were
Yeah, and then ship them
crazy.
all out of town. Verlander now landing back in Detroit. What do you think
Yeah,
about that?
I think I think the guy, because when he pitched, he still was really dominant. I kind of feel like it might be that one last hurrah. He comes back, right, and has a great like finale. Because I'd love for a guy like him to have a nice little send off because he's been such an advocate for the game. He's an ambassador for the game. He's nothing that I don't think anybody can say anything bad about Verlander.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to get away from this, but so
Yeah,
do we think that just because of all the money spent, that the Mets are going to win the division?
no,
Dude,
no.
it like I can tell you that they are all separated from 1.7 to 2.0. Like they're like you can't make any money picking the winner of this because you don't know who it's going to be. I mean,
Yeah.
the Phils with Trey Turner, Harper, Schwarber. I mean,
That's not even what's crazy about the Phillies. You're right, Hooks. It's crazy. That's not even their main strength. You realize their starting pitching could be all time great. Zach Wheeler, who's coming back from injury, we know him. They have Aaron Nola, who we just talked about him. Andrew Painter, who is a top 100 at one point, was a top 10 pitcher. They've got 2 guys in the 4th and 5th spot, and Jesus Lazardo and Walker, and that doesn't even include who could be their best pitcher of the entire league if it wasn't for Skeens, and that's Christopher Sanchez, that lefty for them, absolute dominance. And that team right there, they're starting pitching. I think, in my opinion, if there's anybody that's going to push the Dodgers against the wall, besides the Cincinnati Reds, of course, it's the Phillies.
I don't know. A healthy Real Muto in the middle of the lineup. I don't know what they'll put him this year, but I just feel like they're not very consistent. Everybody thought that Bryce Harper's going to win all these MVPs in his career.
Mhm.
He's not. He's just not,
Yeah.
that great at the plate as he used to be. He's not clutch. I don't think the lineup is as consistent as it needs to be to really make a push. I don't know what we're going to expect out of Atlanta. I mean, we're not counting them out. I think the Braves were supposed to be in the mix last year, and with all the injuries, Acuna gone, all this stuff that happened, and they hope that this year they're going to be ready, to make that push again. So I agree with you, Hooks. Like I don't know. I wouldn't put my money on any of these teams because anybody could come out of it.
yeah. I mean, with Acuna and Olsen and Austin Riley, that team is top to bottom really good too. And like if you picked any of the 3, I'm not going to think you're crazy, but it's tough.
That's sorry, go ahead.
No, I do wish Aaron Nola a great year because he autographed my baseball today on his way out. Yeah.
Let's give it up for Aaron Nola.
This may be all for naught, though, as we're covering this season. We might just be looking at one window of a season because what we're on the precipice of is another 1994-1995 lockout. And it's especially ill-timed when Tony Clark, which I'm not a fan of, Tony Clark wasn't a fan of him when he was a ball player either. Tony Clark got busted sleeping around with his brother's wife, and he's
Allegedly.
out.
Allegedly.
Well, yeah. Let me preface that. Allegedly. He's out. No more. He's no longer MLB rep for the Players Association. And there's been many reports where they're saying, and that it's not just been what I've been saying. Again, I speak it. It comes to reality. Next week, I'm going to give the winning lottery numbers. That they have talked about it many times and how they said that the owners are drawing a line in the sand. And then we're going to get into this. Everybody's like, if you side with the owners, they call them what do you call them? A bootlicker. Right. And then if you side with the players, you're a communist or whatever it is. Right.
Yardbird.
I can tell you this. Huh? What's that?
Yardbird.
Yeah. There's so much hate. And I'm like, yeah, well, anyway, there's a lot going on there. And I'm telling you, the momentum I'm seeing and hearing and reading and the quotes that everybody's talking about, I don't think this happens, boys. I know, Hooks, you're against it. You think they'll figure it out. I hope you're right. But for argument's sake, I think that it's too divisive right now, and there's too much money on the line. Because what they're trying to do is completely remake the economics of baseball. And if you're that divided among I don't see how they come to a reconciliation. I'll tell you, It's so bad. Jorge, you're better at this. You may be way more astute than I am. There is a fund, an escrow account that the players have put into. And I don't know if this is a regular thing. So I'm not saying that this is a lead up to why there's going to be a strike, but there is around $500 million that the players have had in a funded escrow account to play out these players in the event that there is a strike. Now, that could be a common thing. I don't know. Like, that could always be a nice little escrow nugget for all these players, but that's a pretty substantial amount of money that they've done set aside. So that's where, coupled with that and the absolute quotes that you've read, I think that there will be a strike, unfortunately.
Yeah. Listen, the true economists know the impact that a strike would have on the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Far outweighs whatever money that you might lose as an owner or as a player, either side, from not negotiating and resolving it. So, if you have little kids, maybe cover their ears for this, but my wife calls it simply a dick swinging contest, right?
Yeah, right.
Two sides are going to try and figure out whose dick is bigger, and they're just going to go for it, right? And it's going to be it's a detriment to the game, because if they go on strike for a year, it's going to take them a while to get back, what they're losing.
You make a great point. If it wasn't for Griffey, McGuire, Sosa, they're in the late 90s. Does baseball ever fully rebound? It was the perfect timing, and I think we're all seeing in today's world that it could all be propped up and intentionally done as a movie type display, like you don't know it's all set up, right? But I don't know, man. I sure hope you guys are right, or Hooks, you're right, because I'd hate that. Baseball's my favorite sport, my favorite pastime, but man, I just don't feel like they're budging.
All right, let's just be clear. Let's just be clear. Tony Clark was just a figurehead. I mean, it's Bruce Myers was involved in 2018. He's the lawyer. This is not. Here's the problem, and I'll break it down basic for the people that are listening. Baseball will never, ever have true revenue sharing like they do in the NBA and they do in the NFL. They'll lose 10 teams and play with 20 in the major leagues before they have true revenue sharing. I mean, the Dodgers have been doing revenue sharing for the last 10 years, paying $170 million in luxury tax or $200 million in luxury tax. That's the revenue sharing. And there is no chance that the Dodgers are going to, or any of those teams are going to give up their TV money. And baseball's in a bad spot because there's teams right now that, the Cardinals have totally lost. I mean, they're used to carrying $70-80 million a year in TV money, and now they're having to go to MLB.
Yeah, they don't even have a network. Yeah,
they got to fix that. That's not a salary cap issue. That is a marketing issue. That is something else that's got to be fixed. But they're not going to do a strike because, like you said, the possible damage at the end. And I'm telling you right now, the players are not agreeing to a salary cap.
Okay. So here's what they said. This is on the prediction market. I don't want to say the name of it. I don't know what are the odds? This is the ongoing odds right now. What are the odds that there is a strike at the end of the 2026 baseball season? I'm not going to read it everything. It's basically just, kind of surmises what we were just talking about. But they're saying there is a 90% odds that there will be a strike at the end of this season. They're saying the central issue driving the lockout is money. Obviously, we just said that. The owners want to change the economic structure, including the salary cap. Obviously, the players are opposed to that. And it just said, indicating that there's a high likelihood. For what it's worth, didn't we talk a few podcasts ago about, or maybe it was a podcast I was listening to, when they're looking at what Vegas kind of, is got the AP effect where I speak it and it happens type deal, right? We're just joking around, but they talk about that. They're saying 90%, boys. So, I mean, maybe it's a bias that I read it and recency bias or whatever, and I start seeing it and I believe it. But dudes, I know you, I don't know, man.
Hold on. There's only one of us on here that's a financial advisor. And I'm going to tell you right now, take your retirement money and put it on the no lockout. Just
no.
Put it on.
I thought you were going to say take it to the casino.
Oh, you get 90% chance. You could
go ahead. You do that and let me know. And when you cash out, then you can help.
Prop it 90% odds.
I'm retiring like Jorge if there's no lockout.
No, I mean, listen, whatever happens, I wouldn't be surprised either way. So I get it.
All right.
So chump of the week.
Ooh,
Who has the chump of the week? I have a good one.
Go for it then.
Yeah, you always got
All
one.
right. So the chump of the week is the NFL.
Yeah.
The NFL putting the first game of the season on a Wednesday.
Oh.
And even worse, they don't even know which game it's going to be. Can you imagine the Seahawks playing their first game of the season on a Wednesday? Because it's always going to be the Super Bowl team, or the Rams and 49ers playing in Australia on a Wednesday and then having the Seahawks play the next day. Come on, NFL.
Yeah.
We know you're all about the money, but just that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
About the money. Listen, my chump of the week is the guy today at Phillies practice who called Brian De La Cruz wait, what's his name? El Bombi? Dang it. Now I can't even remember. I see why he did it. Adolis Garcia. So he's yelling at Brian De La Cruz. He's like, Adolis, will you sign my ball? Adolis. And it's like he's like 4 feet away, right? When they're taking BP. And Brian is looking at him like, who's he talking to? So then he starts talking to the other guy. He's like, this in Spanish, like, this guy's calling me Adolis. He started looking at his arms like, that is not me. Like, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, it's a guy. It was funny. It was like he looked like one of those dealers that get all the stuff signed to go resell, right after he leaves the stadium. So it was funny to see him call this guy Adolis like 13 times. It's like, bro, that is not Adolis Garcia. So then I told Brian, they're all laughing, the players.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Brian, I called you the mini Bombi, El Bombi Mini.
I bet there's some stories. My chump of the week, non-based football, sports related, is the guy that was interviewing Obama when Obama said aliens are real, and he didn't ask him to expound on it. I think that that was your opportunity to be asked some good questions. Instead, he just parsed over it like it didn't even happen. So when I heard that, I was like, how do you not ask a follow-up question when you're talking to the most powerful man in the universe?
Maybe you just don't want to know.
Yeah.
Was Obama the one that talked about Venezuela being south of the equator? I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that I saw the interview.
No,
that was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Enough politics.
Yeah.
Enough politics. All right, man. Well, thank you.
Next week.
Great show, guys. Thanks to our listeners. Find us on all of our socials. Find us online on YouTube, First and Inches Podcast. I want to give a shout out to Tyler Reddick for winning the Daytona 500. That was a spectacular way. I know everybody thinks, it's a wreck and he won out of default. No, he was not in front when that wreck happens, right? He went around the two teammates that were going to have, I think it was Chase Elliott that was going to win this thing and put himself in a position to win that race. And I'm so sorry, Rowdy fans. Kyle Busch didn't get to punch that ticket at Daytona yet. So hopefully he doesn't retire, can come back next year and try again. All right, guys.
Logano is better than Busch. Go Logano. Okay, sorry.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Peace.